Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name is Tom Novak, and today we're going to do a Washington Hawthorn. Today is June 3rd of 2021. It's 79 degrees Fahrenheit or 26 degrees Celsius. The soil I'm going to use today on my small Hawthorn that I got from the Arbor Day Society. It's one of 3 trees that survived the 10. I don't know about the other ones, still nothing developed, but we'll see. I'm going to use 50% sifted perlite, 50% Flourite. I'm going to add a teaspoon of Mykos into the soil around the root system and also a shot of Azos. Now this tree does develop thorns. It likes full sun, but it will grow in any type of soil. It does flower either in late May or early June. Now here's one that I have from last year. It was on 6/16 of 20. But see, I want to develop the trunk, and I finally got these shoots grown because I clipped the top so more vigor would go into the trunk and develop these little buds into branches. So you notice how this one's coming out. See how it's moving forward? Well, all I'm going to do is take my shears and go back until I hit the first leaf, about the second one out. Take that off. And this way here, hopefully it'll develop these branches more and put more vigor into the bottom here, so then I can maybe in the fall take a cutting here and develop this trunk into a smaller tree. But we'll see how it goes. And don't forget to weed. That's the hardest part of bonsai, is weeding. Okay, here is the tree I got. Sorry for all the barking of the dogs. But all you do, let's take our peroxide, and this is the one that I got from the Arbor Day Society. Now you can see it's developing on the bottom, so that's good. So I'm just gonna cut it just above, drop it in, and then instead of developing radial roots up here, the taproot is developing it way on the bottom, so we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is dip and clip about most of that taproot off, and we have this one little surviving root. Now, when you do that, you'll see that we have to cut some of the top off so that root system can help this little tree develop. Okay, I got a little bit bigger pot, but that's okay because I want the roots to grow and develop more. So what we're going to do now is fill up the pot. And this is what the Flourite, and I found out now that PetSmart does sell the Flourite, so you can get it. It's a nice big bag for, I think it's like 12 bucks or 10 bucks. But all I'm going to do is put the Flourite in with the sifted perlite. Get a little more in it. And this is a small tree. What are you going to say, Tom, I should have used a smaller pot? Well, that could be, but I want this tree to grow. And this is the middle of the afternoon where the heat's out. And I'm going to leave it in the basement till nightfall, and I'll put it out in the yard because the heat of the sun will just bake it. So now that we got some of this in, I can lift it up just a hair more. Now with the beneficial bacteria, that'll also help the roots to grow, because the roots feed the bacteria and the bacteria feed the roots. They work hand in hand symbiotically. So I got a teaspoon. I'm just going to spread it around. And then this is not fertilizer, so it's not going to burn. It's beneficial bacteria. And then I'm going to give a shot of Azos, a nice healthy shot there. And then I'm going to move it all around and into the soil. Now, there's hardly any roots for this to tap into, but that one taproot should be sufficiently covered. Now I'm not going to make this real deep because I want this tree to grow and not to be too high out of the pot so it won't dry out on me. So we'll get that in. Straighten it out to the best of our ability. Remember, this is your tree. You design it. And you're going to say, Tom, you do big bonsais. I did a couple, but I want you to learn with a little tree. If you can keep a little tree alive, then you can do a bigger tree. I can't see people buying big trees and then they die on them because there's a learning curve into taking care of them. Okay, now we're going to give it some water. Water it in real good. Let it all flow out. Wipe off the pot. There's a little tree. Now we can dress it up. Take my cover the pot. Now we can either use, because we don't want this to dry out fast. So I got a piece of flagstone here that I'll put here to help to hold the moisture into the roots. And another couple of pieces of flagstone here. And then over here, like it's growing in a little cove or something. And then I'll take my piece river gravel, and what I'm going to do is, because here's my spoon. Take our piece river gravel and put it on the top and decorate it a little bit. This way here, this will also hold in the moisture for the plant, since it's young and the roots have to develop. Now your beneficial bacteria will always help your roots out. That's why I use it. Don't be afraid to send in for your free sample. It's cheap, and you get a lot of good free samples out of the deal. It's at Extreme Gardenings, and the sample is free. I think it'll just cost you about under $10 for shipping. It's not that bad, and you get a lot out of it. Now I'm going to take some torpedo sand that I got. You can use any sand, but I like the torpedo sand because it's got more rock in it. And I'm just going to ease it into the pot. Put it around our tree. I know it's a little deeper, but we want that root to grow. It's only got one root feeding it. That's why we had to cut a lot off. There we go. It's a small tree, but it's something for you to handle, especially if you got arthritis, or if you're young and you're working all day and you're in an office. This will give you something easy to experiment on, to grow. And if you can keep it alive while you're away from home, then you can go into a bigger bonsai tree. Remember, it's a learning curve. If you haven't done bonsai before, don't be afraid to try it. You can watch somebody do something 1,000 times, but if you don't do it yourself, you're never going to be able to know if you can do it or not. And don't worry, if it dies or something happens to it, it's a learning curve. It's a small tree. There you go. Something small, something easy. And there's our little tree in our little setting. We'll keep our fingers crossed so it grows. And I think it will. Talk nice to it. They like your company. The reason why that is because you're giving it carbon dioxide to help it grow. When you talk to it, and it likes good vibrations. So today's Thursday. Find yourself a good book to read. Settle down on your favorite chair. Make yourself a nice hot cup of tea. Sit down, relax, and don't be afraid to enjoy bonsai. Take care, everybody, and have a good rest of the day. And don't forget, take a walk. It's good for your heart.